Chicken breasts, they have a reputation for being dry and bland. It's not their fault. It's all you. It depends on how you cook them. Chicken breasts have this uneven thickness. If you cook this breast until the thickest part reaches a safe temperature, the thinner part is going to be overcooked, especially if you let it cook until the USDA recommended temperature, which is 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius. It is going to be dry and stringy. To get around that, you can pound the chicken so it has even thickness and then cook it. I don't like that technique because it doesn't look good when you're serving it. It's okay if you're going to chop it up and eat with a salad or anything like that. But if you're serving a whole chicken breast, that doesn't look good. But that's just my opinion. So instead of pounding that chicken breast, I slice it horizontally into the chicken so I can open it like a book. It's butterflied chicken breast and it has even thickness. And then I cut this into 2 pieces vertically. So from one big chicken breast, you get these 2 thinner chicken breasts which have even thicknesses. And I cook these 2 pieces separately. If you buy boneless and skinless chicken breasts, you can use this technique and follow the rest of the video as it is. But I usually don't buy chicken breasts. I buy a whole chicken, and obviously it comes with breasts. So this video is about how I cook chicken breasts when I buy a whole chicken. I cut the breasts into Airline Chicken Breasts. It's nothing but a chicken breast with a wing still attached to it. I like this cut because it looks good when you're serving a whole chicken breast. That wing bone sticking out looks really good. I like it. Let's do this. There are many good videos on how to break down a chicken. I will link one video by Jake and Jill Lopez-Alt in the description. Check it out if you want. I'm going to breeze through that process. Cut the loose skin between the thigh and breast and twist the legs opposite sides to reveal the thigh bone and just cut through the joint. You get the legs, which we are not going to use in this video. Now cut through the loose skin at the wings and cut around the drumhead bone. Twist the flat part in the opposite direction to expose the joint and cut through. The flat comes out clean, revealing the drumhead bone. And then there is a keel bone between the 2 breasts. Cut on one side of the keel bone and by keeping your knife close to the ribs, separate the breast from the carcass. There is going to be a wishbone as well. Just manage your knife around it and also cut the wing joint which connects with the carcass. And that's an Airline Chicken Breast. This video is not about breaking down a chicken. There is a better video in the description. Check it out if you want. And there is going to be a tenderloin attached to the breast. Remove that also. Cut down any extra skin, make it look good, and that's it. You get these 2 nice looking Airline chicken breasts. The next step is brining, which is very important. This is what seasons the chicken from the inside. There is wet brining and dry brining. Wet brining is soaking meat in salted water along with optional spices. I'm not a fan of it because I feel like it's very messy and I like the taste of dry brine over the wet brine. And the exterior gets much crispier with dry brine and it's very easy. Just add some salt on the surface of the chicken and leave it in the fridge for at least 1 hour or more if you have time. Overnight is even better. In that 1 hour, I made a simple chicken stock with the carcass. Brown the meat for a few minutes, add an onion, carrot, ginger, all of them roughly chopped. Add the water and some spices like coriander seeds, black pepper and bay leaves. Let it simmer on medium heat for 45 minutes and strain it. You have this simple but amazing chicken stock. We're going to use this at the end to make the pan sauce. Let's cook the chicken breast first. If you have been dry brining this for 1 hour, you would see moisture on the chicken. Moisture is the enemy of crispiness, so pat them dry with paper towels. And you can cook this in stainless steel skillet or cast iron or carbon steel or even non-stick if you want. I'm going to use a stainless steel skillet. And you don't need too many ingredients to make this chicken breast amazing. I'm going to use just salt and garam masala and garlic cloves. Use them if you want, otherwise don't. We already pre-seasoned the chicken with salt, but I like to see some salt on the exterior. So if you don't see any salt on the skin, just sprinkle a little. Now heat up the pan with a tablespoon of oil. I'm using vegetable oil. Place the chicken breast skin side down and away from you so it doesn't splatter on you. And you don't need high heat to begin with. Start with a medium to high heat. As the pan slowly heats up, it renders the fat and gives a crispy skin. Let that cook undisturbed for about 4 to 5 minutes. If it's still stuck to the pan, let it cook for another 1 or 2 minutes. The skin releases the pan naturally when it's cooked. Take a peek on the skin side. If there is a nice color on it, flip it. But before flipping, sprinkle some salt and garam masala on the second side. Sprinkle some garam masala on the skin side also, and this goes into 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius oven for about 8 to 10 minutes. The time depends on the size of the breast you're cooking, so keep tracking the internal temperature of chicken with a meat thermometer. I aim for a temperature between 150 and 155 Fahrenheit. USDA recommended temperature is 165 degrees Fahrenheit, but if you cook it to that temperature, it's going to be dry and stringy. Chicken is safe to eat at 150 Fahrenheit as well if you let it rest for 3 to 4 minutes after cooking. That is more than enough time to kill the salmonella in the chicken. So cook the chicken breast to just around 150 degrees Fahrenheit and let it rest for 3 minutes. The pan will have all this brown stuff stuck to it, which is called as fond. We're going to make a pan sauce out of it. That garam masala and fond are going to make one of the best pan sauces. We'll do that in a minute. Let's take a look at the chicken first. This has been resting for about 5 minutes, and this is one juicy chicken breast. I usually cut this into thin strips at a bias, but you can cut this however you want. Place it on a plate along with that wing bone. I don't know about you, but I think it looks good along with that bone. If you live in India or any other part of the world, you may not have the access to an oven. If you don't, you can cook this directly in the pan as well. Instead of putting it in the oven after flipping, add some butter and keep basting it until the internal temperature reaches the target, between 150 and 155 Fahrenheit. You don't want to add garam masala at the beginning. It's going to take a lot of time to cook that breast. If you add garam masala now, it's going to burn and gives a bitter taste, which you don't want. So add the garam masala at the end when the temperature is close to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. After adding the garam masala, let it cook on each side for 20 to 30 seconds. When it reaches the target temperature, take it out of the pan and let it rest in the plate. Save that garlic as well. That's the best garlic you can eat. And we're also going to use one of those cloves in the pan sauce. I chopped up an onion and one of the garlic cloves. Now heat up the pan along with the fond and saute the onions and garlic for 1 or 2 minutes. I like to add some alcohol at this stage, just very little. I'm using whiskey. I feel like it releases all the fond from the pan and brings it all together. But be careful when you're adding alcohol to the pan, especially if you're using open fire. It can start a fire in the pan. Cook that for a minute and saute the onions and garlic for a few minutes until the onions soften up. I decided to add some more whiskey. You don't have to. It's completely optional, and you can add white wine as well if you want. But I think garam masala and whiskey goes really well. Let that cook for a minute and add the chicken stock we made. The quantity of the stock depends on how much fond you have. I used about 3 ounces of chicken stock and 2 tablespoons of cold butter. Stir continuously until the butter melts. The sauce is going to thicken up a bit and it coats the back of a spoon. And that's it. At this point, you can add some fresh parsley if you have. Give it a taste and adjust the seasoning according to your taste. I added some black pepper and lemon juice for acidity. That acidity cuts down the richness from chicken fat and butter. This sauce with whiskey, garam masala and chicken drippings is really good. I would cook the chicken breast again just to make this sauce. And this is the breast we cooked in the pan. Cut into thin strips at a bias and plate it up with the sauce on top. It looks really good with the bone sticking out, but you cannot see that here because the bone is pointing towards the camera. I overlooked it when I was filming. So here is a shot from the other day with the bone sticking out and you can see it. If you plan ahead, you can make this in just 15 to 20 minutes and it's one of the best proteins to eat. Pair this with the mint chutney we made in the last video and it's going to be amazing. I'm sorry I've been very inconsistent with the uploads. A lot is going on and I'll try to upload the videos regularly. Drop a like if you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.